Hello my friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to do a little Q&A now that I am 7 months post-op. So I think I did one of these videos, maybe I was 2 months, 3 months, and since then a lot of my responses have changed. A lot of my outlook on things have changed. So these questions that I have specifically have come from my closest friends and my family members. So I do want to let you know it touches a little bit of everything. It gets a little personal, and then there's just some basic questions in general of how I feel now. So I am going to jump right into this. I do want to let you guys know this is my opinion pertaining to my journey. So I can't speak for everyone. This will be completely different from individual to individual. We all have a variety of outcome in this journey, and it's very apparent. I am a slow loser. I went into this with a low BMI. I do have insulin resistance. I have PCOS. So my journey is going to look a little different for you. And I'm okay with that because I really feel that this adds another dimension to these journeys that you all see on Instagram, on YouTube, that not everything is picture perfect. All right, so I'm going to be 100% real with you guys in these answers, and hopefully it is helpful for you guys. Also, if you have any specific questions, put those in the comments because I can do another video like this. All right, question number one. Question number one is inflammation. Did it go away and has it come back? And that is a yes, it did go away and it has not come back. So I was someone who dealt with a lot of edema in their ankles, in their legs. Oh my stars. I had so much inflammation because of PCOS and probably the crap that I was eating. So I will say that it did go away fairly early when I started to go through all the stages of eating. That really helped restructure everything, helped me understand food a little bit better and how it responds to my body. And because you are limited with the amount of food you can have, throughout this journey you tend to go to the right foods because that's where you get your nourishment. And it does kind of already correct in those inflammatory foods. So it is helpful to know what inflammatory foods are, and especially if you have PCOS and insulin resistance, because you will always kind of struggle with some level of inflammation. But again, your answer is going to be food. It is really just correcting that food. Question number two, does PCOS cause slow weight loss? Yes, 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 yes. Now, maybe I didn't know in the beginning how much it would affect it, but it definitely does affect it. There's a lot of factors that go into it. It's not just if you have PCOS, you're going to lose weight slow. There are a lot of people that still have PCOS and that lose weight fairly fast, but you're going to have to work hard with it. Just like anything else, just like before. The only thing that VSG has helped with PCOS is giving me that jump start. And I really, 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 really want to stress that is it gives you the jump start and the option to lose weight. Because it takes you through the many stages of reintroducing food, that is where your main weight loss is going to happen. That's where it's just going to really start to just go. And you will just drop off these pounds. But you are going to hit a stall. You are going to hit some little bumps in the road. There are going to be little things that happen in your hormones and you won't really know just yet. So please, please, please know that just because you have PCOS doesn't mean that VSG won't work, but it also doesn't mean that VSG is going to work like a magic wand. There is still a large amount of work into it. It's just not as much of hitting a wall like it was when you did not have VSG. How I look at it is like VSG just created that doorway for you to go through and finally learn what you need to do to lose weight with having PCOS and insulin resistance. So there are things that I noticed about myself where I was definitely overeating on portions. Now, I never felt that I overate in any way, but you don't really notice that until your body is physically forced to be a certain way. You start to notice how you overindulged in certain things. And there is a lot of enlightenment that comes through along this journey with just noticing your relationship with food. And I think it is super helpful. I don't know if I actually would have been able to get that far and have it sink in if I didn't have VSG and I was having to deal with PCOS and insulin resistance. I don't actually know if I would have had such an impact without the surgery. So even though weight loss does slow down, you will have several stalls. You might not know what the heck is going on. You might feel that the procedure is now broken, but just allow some grace for yourself. Just know that this is not broken, that you are fine, and there are going to be several stalls along the way. You'll get back to losing weight. It's just sometimes you have to shake things up. You have to really look at what you're doing, look at your routines, look at how much you're eating, how you're eating, what you're eating, and try to adjust that way. There's been several times that I've hit a stall and I realize, okay, what is going on? I have to really look at my food, and I'll track for a few weeks and be consistent with it. And I start to see where I let that little thing slip in. And then you just kind of correct it. Okay, I wasn't moving my body as much. So now I'm going to be more diligent in moving my body, however that is. Dance, clean your house aggressively, find ways that you can just move your body every day. You will eventually push through that stall. Now, be realistic with everything. Are you going to continue to lose 10 pounds a week, 8 pounds? No. In the very first beginning stages of this, in the very first few months, you will be excited about how much you will lose. You will see all of this weight just dropping off. But, there has been months that I only lost 2 pounds. There has been months where I don't lose anything. And that is a mindset that you have to accept. You have to accept that if you're going into this journey. And not to be discouraged from it, but to know, are you going to be someone that might potentially only lose 50 pounds from this surgery? Are you going to be someone who might lose 100 pounds? Like, no one really knows. You don't really know until you're in it. And that is kind of the scary part. How do you commit to something that is not 100% guaranteed, but is 100% affecting your life forever? Because it does affect your life forever. You will no longer eat the way that you ate. You won't view food the same way. When you eat something, you'll fill up very quickly, and eating doesn't become a enjoyment. It becomes something you have to do to survive. It'll be for getting all of your nutrients in the best that you can, and being able to be comfortable as well, because you're not able to eat enough food to get that nutrient. So sometimes it's uncomfortable. And that is a commitment that you're making. You're making a commitment that is saying, I'm okay with potentially only losing 50, 60, 70 pounds, not even hitting that 100-pound mark, and yet taking this away from myself forever. Not to say that you're not going to enjoy food ever again. You will. There are things that I eat and I'm like, oh, a tamale, yum, but it's not going to be like you can sit there and chow down and chow down. I can probably take 2 to 3 bites of a tamale and I am good. That's what I mean by having fun while eating, where you're not going to have a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of this. It is definitely going to be a lot harder to do that. Usually I can only just really eat my protein and some veggies. I tend to not really have much space for the carb portion of whatever meal I'm having. So sorry I went a little off-roading with that question, but it does roll into question number 3, which is stalls. How do I handle them? Now, how do I handle them is just allowing myself grace for my specific journey and what I went into this at. So I'm a low BMI going into this. I had PCOS, insulin resistance, and I had to accept that I might not lose 100 pounds. But will I lose weight? Yes, I will lose some weight. Will other things correct? Yes. Will I benefit other ways than a massive weight loss? Yes. And that is very true. So how I keep myself from becoming discouraged when I hit these stalls is really just accepting from the very beginning of what I was bringing to the table and how these new conditions might affect that, how they would affect it positively or negatively. And when you're able to accept that, I think it makes these stalls hurt less. It brings a little sense of reality to you that says, okay, I willingly committed to this for many reasons, and not just to sit and watch the scale go by, right? We committed to this because we wanted to learn how to be healthy, how to eat healthier, how to live, how to be active, to get off of medications, to increase our chances of fertility. Not me, but could be you. We have to remember the why when we're going through this, or else it's gonna get murky. It's gonna get so murky, and it might be emotionally devastating when we hit these stalls. So preparing yourself and just knowing and accepting what you're going into this with. What is this palette? What is in this? This is what I have. This is what I have to accept. This is what I'm working with to just get better. Even if you have PCOS and insulin resistance, yes, it will take a little longer. It'll take a little bit more work. With PCOS, you just have to work super hard. And VSG is no exception. All it is doing is creating that doorway, so now you have somewhere to go instead of banging your head against a wall. All right, question number 4. Question number 4 is hormones. Will my libido go down or will it go up? So I would say in the very beginning of losing weight, where you're just shedding pounds for some reason, and now you can call it that you're just feeling a little more confident in your skin, but your libido is super high. It's very high in the very beginning, and it doesn't like diminish or go away over time. It's still pretty healthy right now, but prepare yourself for a hormonal surge. And it does make sense. When talking to my surgeon, they explained that there are a lot of hormones that are stored in your visceral fat, which is just your belly fat, your fat all over. Once that starts to break down, those hormones, they have to go somewhere. So they are just surging through your body. And as a result, you might get a little frisky. You might get a little feisty with things. And it's pretty interesting. In the very first few months, you kind of feel like a teenage boy. All right, question number 5. This does roll into this question, which is sex. Does it feel the same? And I will have to say no, it does not. So again, only speaking from my perspective, and I can say that things do change. I mean, you're losing body fat all over your body, inside and out. So when it comes to that activity, things feel a little brand new. They feel, there's no cushion for the pushing, if you know what I mean. Things feel like they're very first time feeling. And it takes you a minute to really figure out how to get comfortable with it again. And it doesn't take very long. Like I said, I'm 7 months post-op, and it gets better and better. It gets more comfortable over time, but you will definitely notice that your partner feels very different to you. And I don't really know if you feel different to your partner. What my husband has said is that yes, there is a level of difference. And also, like I said, you're going to be losing all this weight. You're getting more, confident in your skin. You want to try out different things. And you will definitely notice that things are easier. Things feel easier to try. They feel more comfortable. And that just continues to get better and better. Just being very open with your partner, letting them know when it does not feel comfortable, when you need to switch positions, things that you're just not ready to go slow. Just being very open with that communication, because you want to enjoy that. And at first, it could just be a little startling how different it feels. All right, question number 6. Have I been treated differently since surgery? I will say, as far as professionally goes, no, I have not been treated differently at all. I kind of feel some people might notice, but they don't say anything. Plus, I'm only in the office once a week, and I look different every single time. I have different hair, I have a different body. So I personally have not been treated differently professionally. Now on the street, by strangers, people just kind of seeing me, not that they've seen me when I was at my biggest, but they're seeing me at my smallest. And yeah, I get a little more attention, I get a little more looks. People are very, very polite, and I felt a little invisible when I was bigger. If the elevator opened, no one would really try to keep that elevator open so I can get in. They would let it leave. And it's amazing how that's the first thing I noticed was the over helpfulness of strangers. It's a very interesting observation coming from being someone who was larger and now being someone who is smaller, and being able to see that difference in behavior of others. It's kind of sad, I will say that. All right, question number 7. Has there been any negativity around my choice for VSG? And I will say there was one friend, and it's unfortunate, we don't talk, but she did, when I opened up to her, she said, you know, why are you getting surgery? You don't need it. You're not 600 pounds. Don't get it. And for me to hear that, when I worked up so hard, the courage to tell her, because I didn't tell a lot of people. I only have a very small amount of true friends, and she was definitely one of them. And I thought she would have been a little bit more supportive, but it really crushed me to hear that. And you don't want to say that to the person who is struggling so hard with even being able to get the guts to do this and to say it. But the other people that I told, which again, it was very, very small amount of people. Once I got a little closer to surgery, I did let my mom know. And the reason was that, you know, she gets very nervous when it comes to any of her children undergoing procedures. And I didn't want her to stress out. I wanted to wait until it was 100% happening to kind of have the time to explain it to her. And I also want to say that I think that's important, is a lot of these individuals and our support system, they might not know what the heck VSG is. And they might not know why it is that you feel you need it. So because we don't kind of tend to share every single little thing, what's going on internally, and all they get to see is what we look like externally, it's really nice to be able, for those like your mother, your father, your close family members, to just be able to have that time to explain what it is that you're doing and why. So after I did tell her that, she was very supportive. Of course, she did not want me to do it, only because of the undergoing a procedure situation and taking something out of my body. But when she really knew what was going on in my health, she 100% supported it. And then I later on told my sister, who was 100% supportive as well. And since then, I think I've had a couple of family members find me and are now aware of my journey. So yes, I think I did have a degree of negativity around it when it came to my friend. And then also it could have been negative with family if I didn't take time to actually explain what was going on and sharing that. So, you know, not everyone's going to be on board with your decision. That's why it's important to know why you are and what your why is. It's very, very important. All right, question number 8. Any regrets, and would I do this again? Now, right off the bat, I will tell you, I do not have any regrets in getting the surgery. It has definitely pushed me to a spot where I do not think I could have got on my own. And I was exhausted. I was running out of patience. I was running out of motivation. And mentally, I was being just dragged down by the lack of success that I was having with just trying to diet and just trying to go about losing weight in not so healthy ways. So without VSG, I don't think I would have got this far. And because of that, and because of how much I've gained from having VSG, which is a funny thing to say, but what I mean by that is emotionally and just educational wise, about knowing food and knowing what it does and knowing how it should make you feel, knowing the right things to eat. It has blown my mind how I now eat and how I can listen to my body in a total different way, where I thought I was very much in touch with my body and what I ate and how I was doing it. But VSG has just really cleared all of the crap away because it strips you down to the basics. You're having to eat for nutrition. You're having to eat to get fuel. You're having to eat for muscle. And when you think about food that way versus, oh, this looks delicious, I want some chocolate, you quickly realize that the chocolate does nothing for you, nothing to support a healthy body. And it feels so good to have a decent handle on learning these new foods, learning what food combinations to put together so that I can feel good throughout the whole day. Knowing how important it is to get my water in, knowing how important it is to get my protein, to eat my protein first, where before I'd go right for like mashed potatoes first or rice, and now I'm going right for my protein first. So over time with having this tool, you gain so much more than just losing weight from it. And I feel it's just a second chance at doing this the right way. Now, if you're just focused on that scale going down and you're just focused on getting smaller, you're gonna miss this other stuff. You know, your focus is gonna be somewhere else. Mine was just overall healthiness. Mine was overall getting off of medications, getting off of blood pressure medications. I was getting sick and tired of hearing every single doctor come down on me for my blood pressure. And I could not control it on my own. PCOS causes a lot of that. PCOS causes a lot of issues that, you know, you're kind of made to feel ashamed of. And it's so unfair because it's a condition that you have and you have no control over, and it will never go away. If you're placed in the wrong doctor's hands, they're going to make you feel completely small. They're going to say, you need to lose weight. You need to go to the gym. You need to work out more. You know, you need to stop eating salt. And really, it's like, please understand PCOS and insulin resistance. I get so frustrated how some of these doctors have zero education on PCOS, and because of it, we end up being guided in the wrong direction for our health. So 100% no regrets, but I do want to say this is kind of what goes into some of the other stuff that I was talking about, which is really understanding what you're committing to. You're committing to a lifetime of not being able to eat like you used to. Now, there are good days and there are bad days. So I don't want to say like, oh, it's just wonderful the whole time. No, there are days where I get a little bummed out that I can only have 2 bites of something delicious and I'm done, like a taco. I can't have the whole taco. I can probably have 2 bites of a taco, and then by then I'm taking off everything else and just eating the protein. So to sit and have, you know, like I used to have street tacos, I can't do all of that in one little thing anymore. It's having a couple of bites of the whole thing and then finishing off by just eating the protein. Same when it comes to hamburgers. Now, this could be completely different from everyone, but I'm just speaking for myself. Maybe you're able to eat a whole hamburger and feel fine. But for me, I have to cut my hamburger in fourths, and I'll be able to eat 1/4 with the bun and the burger. So when I say be aware what you're committing to, I'm only 7 months post-op. I don't know if that continues to be a thing throughout the whole journey, but I can say right now it definitely is, where you're just not able to have a whole lot of the meal that you're eating to enjoy it. So there are days that I feel frustrated about that, where I'm like, damn, I just want to be able to have a burger, you know, or have a taco and have all of the flavors, and it's frustrating. Or that you fill up really fast, or that you have to, you know, wait till you drink before you eat. Like, that's another thing. Some days it's easy to accept it. Other days you get a little froggy about it. But there comes a level of acceptance in what you're sacrificing. You're sacrificing, yes, I don't get to sit there and munch on this delicious burger with all of its fixings, or, you know, I do have to wait before I eat and not drink anything, and I have to have timers, and I have to measure my food. You become a pro at seeing like, okay, I know I can only have like 4 grapes, or I can only have this many whatevers. What you're giving is very small and minimal compared to what you're gaining from it. You know, you're getting a lifelong opportunity to be healthy, to reset your metabolism, to lose weight, to learn how to live with PCOS, insulin resistance, and VSG. I mean, you're learning all these interesting things, and you get to see your body change along the way. I wouldn't change it. I really wouldn't. And so that's what I'm saying. Okay, last question. This was a question from a friend that said, what is something weird that you didn't expect to happen with VSG? And something weird that I didn't expect was that I would be totally cold all the time. No, I was a person who ran hot. I did not want blankets on me. I didn't want body heat on me. I wanted my fan on with the open window, and I loved being cold. Now I am freezing. I cannot get warm enough. I'm like snuggled up to my husband. I have warm blankets on me. It is the weirdest thing. I mean, we lose a lot of body fat. We lose our insulation. So it makes total sense. But that is something that I didn't hear of. Also, I'll throw in a little bonus one, is how your face loses so much weight so fast, and you get a little loose skin right there. Like, let me see if you can see it. There. Oh, I don't know if you can see it, but it pulls like a little turkey gobble. So that is one thing that I noticed, is the little marionette lines, that they get a little more prominent. And if you got a double chin, girl, oh, she's gonna be a bish. So my friends, that is all I have today. That's what I got. Those are the questions that came through from my personal friends and family members, and I hope it was helpful for you guys. Again, if you have any questions or you want me to do another one of these, just let me know. Put your questions in the comments, or maybe I'll create a little Instagram thing in a couple of months and see if you guys can send me some questions. Don't forget to like and subscribe, be my friend, and then boop over to Instagram, be my friend there too, guys. Thank you so much. I hope you have a good day. Bye-bye.